What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sir Hunt's Reviews. My name's Mark, and in this video, I'm gonna be discussing Winds of Winter, George R. R. Martin. You guys seem to like these videos, so please, if you enjoy this one, after you watch it and all that good shit, slap a like on it. The like goal is gonna be 420, please. Also, make sure to subscribe and have your notifications turned on, so that way you get an alert every single time I drop a video. Which only purpose of dropping a video is to entertain you and keep you somewhat sustained throughout the wait for House of the Dragon Season 1, or throughout the wait for Winds of Winter, as it's known on this channel, The Long Night! So, one of the first things that I want to discuss is the fact that, Martin has made several promises about bringing us Winds of Winter. He's actually gone as far as saying, if I don't have Winds of Winter in hand, lock me up in a cabin on a fiery lake until I finish. Something like that. I can't remember the exact words. He also said way back in, I believe, 2013 that Winds of Winter was near completion. He's also mentioned before that, this is the most recently. He said, I made a lot of progress on Winds of Winter in 2020. I made less progress in 2021, but less is not none, right? So that's the big thing that people took away. Less is not none, but it's not some, right? You made less progress in 2021, but it's pretty close to none, right? This book should be finished by now. Regardless, I am the world's biggest fan of George R. R. Martin and A Song of Ice and Fire. It's my favorite fantasy series of all time. It's my favorite everything. I literally have been spending the past 3 months listening to the Game of Thrones books over and over again, reading Fire and Blood. I picked up a few new series. One of the ones that I recommend for people who want something like A Song of Ice and Fire, but still not quite as good, but just amazing. Check out Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I'm about halfway through the Gardens of the Moon. It's a really good book. It's kind of tough to get through at the beginning because there's a lot of stuff going on. We don't know anything about these characters, but that's besides the point. You gotta take one with the fans on this one. It's like, what the fuck is taking so long, right? That's my whole point in this, is that, it's very valid criticism to say the book is taking a long time. Now, to say that it's never coming, you might take it a little bit too far saying something like that, but it genuinely should have been out by now, right? If you disagree with the fact that Winds of Winter should have been out right now, let me know down below in the comment section. The next thing I want to talk about is, and this is something that I haven't really seen repeated a lot online. I mean, I've said it a few times, and I think some people do share that sentiment. I just don't see it heavily commented on social media. It was basically that the reason why this book is potentially taking so long is because it's actually not taking so long and it's done. Right? So if you'll remember, in 2019 and in 2020 specifically, 2019 is the year that Game of Thrones ended, and then 2020 is the year that we all thought we were going to get Winds. Those updates for Winds, Martin even tells us which chapters he's writing specifically, right? Those updates tend to only come in off years. So I was kind of looking at it in in the later seasons of Game of Thrones, there was almost a year in between, right? And we got a few Winds updates in between that. I think Winds is done, and I think Martin is sort of saving it, because before, the whole thing was to get the book out before the shows ended. Around season 5, Martin knew that the show had completely outpaced his books and had literally nixed entire character arcs that would never make the show exactly the same as the book, so he's probably like, what's the fucking point, right? So my whole point in all that is that maybe we will get Winds in an off year, like a wait in between House of the Dragon Season 1 and Season 2. I mean, everybody always says there's all these plot lines and all these characters and all this stuff, and that's what's taking so long for Martin to write it. Here's the thing. He wrote those characters to begin with. 9 times out of 10, people don't realize that they're all going to fucking die by the end of the book anyway, right? So the main POVs that we're getting are the POVs that we expect, at least partially, in the next book, right? So in A Dance with Dragons, we mostly got Jon Snow, Daenerys, and Tyrion. So in Winds of Winter, mind you, the book is called Winter, so we know it's going to be a heavy plot line up north, but Jon Snow is dead and could potentially stay dead for most of the book, right? George doesn't necessarily write the way that everyone likes to think, where it's impossible for him to finish. It's really not. It's really not. The higher mysteries and the fan theories that have gone crazy online are what makes people think that this book is impossible to finish. It's actually not. And then lastly for this video, I don't know where this sentiment comes from, but there's like this hate of people who have money, and that's been wished into the A Song of Ice and Fire fandom. So literally everybody's saying the reason why George hasn't released Winds of Winter is because he's trying to get the most money possible for it. And it's kind of like, he's only been super rich since 2011. Before that, he's probably struggled his whole life just to stay afloat, because guess what? That's what most working Americans have to do, right? So if he can do something that makes him money, wouldn't it not be the smartest business decision to make the most money possible? I mean, I don't know. Like, don't hate the person playing the game. Hate the game itself. Hate the fact that, like, some people can make all this fucking money and there's this massive wage disparity. I mean, I kind of see the sentiment. It does seem like that. It seems like he's trying to make as much money as possible. Like, we're getting 3 different versions of Fire and Blood Part 1, right? So we're getting like an illustrated edition, then we're getting like an index version, right? Like, I can kind of see where that comes from. But you got to also realize that Martin has publishers, and they probably want him to fill out his world as much as possible. And if they can't get wins, well, then it makes sense to release something like Fire and Blood, an illustrated edition, because most diehard fans love shit like that, myself included. Thank you for watching. My name is Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews. Please slap a like and consider checking out my Patreon over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews.